the Fantasy Waiver Wire.
Facial Tootin was all over this, Dave. You nailed that one.
Yeah, another week, another running back scoring a touchdown after being featured in the waiver wire. Thank you, Tootin. Also, Christian Watson got in. We featured him twice before. I said last week, too, if that's a guy who's still out there, pick him up. Huge touchdown, huge day, best game of the season. Final bye week of the season. Yes, we are going back to buys after not having any in week 13. Why? I don't know, but we've got 4 of them. They're pretty relevant as well with the Niners, Patriots, Giants, and Panthers on a bye. Pretty good mix of starting players right there. Most leagues will be in playoffs after this week, so consider some of these guys as stashes for a playoff run, even if you don't have an immediate need for them this week. Got 2 running backs we'll start off with, and then a third who you should also be looking at if he's available. However, he's on bye, so he's kind of the bonus pick. But anyway, I would consider Chris Rodriguez of the Commanders the ad of the week. He is leading this backfield with 26 carries to Krosky-Merritt's 13 over the last 2 weeks. Bill Krosky-Merritt has just been completely phased out of this offense. Frankly, he's droppable. It sucks to say that. If you're in a keeper league, maybe you want to hold on to him just in case things look different in this backfield next season. But he's simply doing nothing and going nowhere with the nothing he's getting. Rodriguez is commanding goal line work, 4 touches to 2 over the past few games. He's got RB3 flex status at this point. Jaden Daniels, I don't know if he's going to actually come back. It's kind of up to the Commanders to decide what they want to do. But their offense is at least looking somewhat cohesive lately. They're probably going to stick with what's working. That's Chris Rodriguez getting the touches, projected for 10.9 PPR points, 49.2 rushing yards, and a huge 52% TD probability this week. Blake Corum, don't overlook him. He has logged at least 7 carries in his past 6 games. Not a huge number, but slowly getting a higher share of this. Almost 40% of the carries over the past 6 weeks. Rams he found the end zone this past week, actually. And it was, I believe, in relief of Kyron Williams when he was getting his ankle checked out on the sideline. So he absolutely capitalized on the opportunity. Rams are huge favorites versus the Cardinals. Could get some Corum opportunities, kind of like Tyler Algier in this one, but in a much better offense. Kyron Williams, like I said, he banged up his ankle. He did return, but Corum had his best game of the season, and the Rams are probably not going to look away from him as we get down the stretch run and want to keep guys healthy. Modest projection of 8 PPR points, but a pretty substantial 33% TD probability as he creeps up. And then I'll just add Devin Singletary. Giants are on bye this week, but Tyrone Tracy left that game with a hip injury, did not return. No idea if he'll be back after the bye, but Singletary is available. He's out there. And if Tyrone Tracy doesn't return, Devin Singletary's RB1 volume probably will look more like an RB2 fringe as far as output. But the Giants have been running the ball like crazy since they fired Dable, and he would be the RB1 if Tracy sits. Moving to wide receivers, really only got one that I haven't talked about previously that I think now is a must-add. Adonai Mitchell, only 3% rostered, broke out this past week, 8 catches, 102 yards, and a touchdown, almost 200 air yards. If you don't know what air yards are, it's the distance the ball travels in the air. So basically depth of target before the ball is caught. So huge, big play potential. Looking like a wide receiver 1 in this offense with a 30% target share since joining the Jets at the deadline. Been the favorite target of Tyrod Taylor in, dare I say, a slightly transformed Jets offense with Taylor under center. 10.2 PPR points, 48 yards, just a 26% TD probability in our projections this week. But I do think you want a piece of this Jets offense down the stretch if you are in need, especially of a flex player or wide receiver 3. A couple QBs. Speaking of Tyrod Taylor, 4% rostered, finished as QB8, QB15, QB5 in his 3 starts, 40-plus rushing yards in 2 games. So, as much rushing upside as any quarterback out there right now. one passing touchdown or more in every start. Projected for 17.3 points this week versus the Dolphins in a game that could be tiny little bit of a shootout. We'll see. Bryce Young on bye this week, so he can't help you. But if you need a quarterback for playoffs or you just want to have a second one in the queue, it's him. 2 of his last 3 games, over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, averaging over 25 fantasy points per game on his little stretch. He's got the Saints and the Bucks in weeks 15 and 16, which are great fantasy playoff matchups. And one little tight end here for you, Brenton Strange. He's back out on the wire after he was on IR for a bit, 33% rostered. But as soon as he came back, he slotted right in as tight end 1. 93 yards on 5 targets in week 12, 3 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown last week, running a full-time route rate, over 80% of the routes, I believe. Parker Washington just got hurt. Brian Thomas Jr. doing very little right now. Projected for 9.2 PPR points, only a 21% TD probability, though, so just be cautious about his upside in week 13 versus the Colts. So again, these guys keep scoring touchdowns, so if you're not a fantasy player, you might find some sneaky betting value here. I would recommend checking the best props on dimers.com and seeing if any of these guys have an edge to score. If they are, I would, 2 or 3 of these guys, you get an edge. I'm putting them in a little round robin because those third, fourth, fifth options can sometimes be some really sneaky touchdown value. Almost get the type of first TD odds you're looking at on the higher probability touchdown scores. So a lot of ways to use this to your advantage beyond just fantasy. And if you're playing fantasy, don't sleep on these folks.
There you have it. Strange is a name that I've looked to pick up in both of my leagues remaining here. I've had tight end issues for the entire second half of the season. One of the hardest positions to solve, but simultaneously one of the, I don't know, you're not fretting as much if you lose your starting tight end unless you have Brock Bowers, right? So I don't know. I feel like every year this is a problem around this time where I'm looking for anything at the tight end position, and Strange has been surprisingly good in recent weeks. So I like that shout from you.